people have said that about him, while other people's tweets are usually more colloquial in nature, a bit more facetious. So I think on Twitter you can find a very broad spectrum of different registers, which is fascinating for language learners. As the two examples of lessons that I've taught with Twitter have hopefully shown, Twitter is an ideal way of bringing the outside world into your classroom. And it helps you to embed learning activities in a real-life context. Members of the global community can virtually help you teach lessons, which is very motivating and exciting for learners. Once they've understood how Twitter works, the Twitter search function can help students build up their own PLN, because if you use the hashtag in combination with the keyword, you can easily find native speakers who are interested in exactly the same issues as you, and you can build up your own PLN, which is otherwise rather difficult for L2 learners. And the last point is that I think Twitter enables students to contribute more to the development of a course syllabus, because usually at the beginning of every semester I ask my students, are there any special topics you want to cover? Do you want me to develop specific material for you? And at that point they're usually too shy to make any suggestions. But if they just upload a link to a website that they really liked or an article that they want to share, they actively participate in the creation of a course syllabus. And I can tell you, it makes them very proud to walk into the classroom and to find that I've turned an article into a reading comprehension or a listening activity. I just quickly want to mention a couple of challenges and problems that I encountered during my project, because I had one major disappointment. When I first started my project, I expected one major benefit from Twitter, and that was that shy students would be tempted to join in our discussions on the internet. But it turned out that the extroverted and committed students who already contributed a lot in the classroom embraced Twitter more wholeheartedly than the shy students. I wouldn't say all of them remained silent, but a lot of them had difficulties engaging with Twitter. The other thing was that the lower the language level of my students, the less likely they were to join Twitter. I found that the students who had a lower B2 level, for example, were less shy than the people with a C1 or C2 level, which was a big disappointment to me. I think it all comes down to a lack in confidence and fluency, and this is a problem I definitely want to tackle next semester. I need to encourage students more to remind them, that spelling and grammar mistakes are not important on Twitter. Nobody minds. Another big problem is that Twitter is not yet very widely used in Germany, and a lot of students told me in the survey that they never set up their own account because they didn't have any friends that were using Twitter. So it seems to be very important to them at the beginning, when they start building up a network, to have people they know from real life in their PLN. There have been a lot of negative articles in the German press about privacy and security issues on Twitter, and a few of my students said, well, they set up an account, but they protected their tweets, which in my view doesn't make any sense, because then you cannot really connect to people whom you haven't met before. You really want to connect with people in the outside world. So they basically limited their interactions to, talking to people they knew from classes or to their friends. And the last big challenge that I see in the use of Twitter is that a lot of people told me they never set up a Twitter account because they spend an average, we calculated that, of 4.5 hours in front of their computers every day already. So, and they also told me that they were already members of other social networks and didn't want to add another social network to their portfolio. So my impression was that my students suffer from a slight social media and information overload, and their needs are already met by those other networks that they belong to. So, what conclusions can we draw from all this? I personally think that what students will ultimately get out of Twitter depends on their willingness to engage with this new social medium and their willingness to open up to new people they never have met before in real life. Because, as I said, they already spend a lot of time using technology, and I found it rather difficult to talk them into investing even more time in using technology. But those who joined Twitter said they greatly profited from the experience, and I therefore believe that we, as passionate and open-minded teachers, should set an example, tempt our students to join the Twitter community, and help them find their very own space in the Twitterverse. Thank you.